At first light, the fields looked peaceful, a soft, golden hush like any other morning. But that calm was a lie. Last night, a marauding pack of wild boar tore through crops, left fences in tatters, and turned hard work into heartbreak for families who depend on this land. In Alberobello, we don't call this hunting for sport. We call it defending the harvest, defending our neighbors' livelihoods, and standing up to an invasive problem that looks the same whether you're in southern Italy or the American Midwest. Wild hogs destroying everything in their path. John, our hunting dogs, and I loaded up with a single mission: stop the boars before the next planting season is ruined. And what followed was a day that tested skill, patience, and grit against an animal that has become one of the most expensive and destructive pests on farms worldwide. We moved into grasslands where tall, yellowed stalks swallowed sightlines, and the air tasted of damp soil and worry. Every rustle could be the sound of another boar that would mean another field down. Then, like a nightmare breaking into daylight, a massive boar exploded from the brush, charging straight at me. Heart in my throat, rifle up, I breathed, aimed, and pulled the trigger. The first shot was true. The second made sure the threat was finished. In that instant, the whole team stiffened with purpose. One down, many more to find, but time and momentum were on our side. By mid-morning, we were scanning rice paddies from our roof buggy when a jet-black boar, fat from easy feeding, froze with a mouthful of young shoots before bolting at the rumble of our engine. Our dogs hit the trail with practiced urgency, forcing the hog into the trap zone we prepared. The ground was a test, ruts, mud, and the kind of rough terrain that separates the cowboys from the tourists, but experience steadied our hands. One clean shot, and a field that minutes before had been in peril was safe once more. Hunting wild boar is tactical. It's about planning traps, reading animal patterns, and moving as a team so farms survived the season. By afternoon, the sky turned strange, and a cold wind began to sweep in. In this place, sun and snow trade places within hours. Light, steady snow drifted across the plains, frosting the fields but doing nothing to soften the truth. Boars don't care about weather. A herd thundered ahead, heavy with fat and the arrogance of numbers, but seasoned instincts are the equal of bulk. We isolated a straggler, moved in with quiet coordination, and with one precise shot, the risk to the nearby village diminished by one more destructive creature. Every boar we remove is not a trophy. It's insurance for a family's next meal. The hunt that day was as much endurance as marksmanship. We pushed north where winter had already laid a white blanket over the land. Footprints sank deep into the fresh snow. The dogs' pads and our boots left clear tracks, carving a map of pursuit. The cold had a way of sharpening everything: senses, breath, resolve. In the blowing flurries, a boar dug beneath the snow for roots and grain, oblivious to the coordinated net we were about to spring. John and I radioed, spread to corners, and waited for a single opening. In seconds that felt like an hour, we moved in. 2 shots ringing from both sides so clean the animal barely registered. The silence that followed was absolute, heavy with the shared knowledge that this simple act bought a season of safety for fields and families. The terrain didn't stop testing us. Halfway up a hillside during a whiteout, a boar suddenly charged through the storm, driving toward the sound of our boots. There's no glamour in the crack of a rifle in weather like that, only necessity. John raised his scope, calm as a surgeon, and the bullet ended a threat that had been erasing crops for months. As dusk bled into night, we found a lone boar slipping across a pale field, unaware of the men and dogs moving like shadows at the edge of its world. John's shot was patient, precise, the kind of mark that comes from years of practice rather than bravado. At the end of the day, we counted what we could: field saved, fences intact, one more harvest preserved. The villagers could sleep without listening for the crunch of hooves at their doors. For us, the work never truly ends. Wild hog populations rebound quickly, and their range keeps expanding. They'll take advantage of any lull, any weakness, whether they're rooting through muddy lowlands or slipping into the blind white of a snow-covered forest. Slopes become traps, blinding snow erases scent trails, and the chase turns into a chess game against weather and the animal's cunning. But that's exactly why this mission matters. It's about more than the day's tally. It's about community resilience, about protecting the food chain from an invasive species that costs farmers millions every year, and about the small, ordinary acts of people who refuse to let whole seasons of labor be wiped out overnight. If you're watching from the U.S., where wild hogs have become a headline problem from Texas to Tennessee, Florida to California, this story sounds familiar because the stakes are the same: lost crops, damaged land, and families who need dependable harvests. Our hunt in Alberobello is a snapshot of a global struggle. And the tactics we use: coordinated teams, trained dogs, planned trap zones, and careful, ethical shooting are what communities on both sides of the ocean rely on to protect their fields. We're grateful for the support of local authorities and neighbors who pitched in. Managing wild boar is a collective effort that requires planning, legal compliance, and respect for public safety. Today's operation ended with tired hands and quiet satisfaction. but also the steady knowledge that tomorrow will be back, because protecting a harvest is a month-by-month, season-by-season commitment.
If you'll enjoy this video, please like and subscribe my channel for more information.